Yeah, well, guys, they continue to try to fight that fire. And I mean, look, it's been extinguished, but they're continuing to put water on the building to make sure that any smoldering that is found, they are able to extinguish it and ensure that this is at least as extinguished as it can possibly be. I want to show you some drone footage of what we are seeing and what we've seen throughout the morning out here. Again, 2 people have been taken to the hospital. One of those people, China, as you mentioned again, jumped from the building. Fire officials tell us that they saw that all morning long of people jumping from the building. I want to show you some footage as well of some of those flames that we were seeing out here earlier this morning. A pretty astounding scene out here that's closed traffic here on Burnside as well. And look, they've been fighting this since 6 o'clock this morning, going on 2.5 hours now. And in that first hour, they were able to knock it down. We spoke to residents who said that it's been a very scary scene. Some are unsure how their unit is doing, if they're able to return to it or if they're displaced permanently. We've seen the landlord out here as well, going from neighbor to neighbor and tenant to tenant to make sure they're doing okay. We've showed you some of that fire footage. We've spoken to some people who live in these units that are just completely destroyed. Firefighters actually pulled some of these people, they tell us, out of their units, breaking their windows, pulling them out. One man who was on his way to work, about to leave for work, was pulled out by firefighters as he was cooking breakfast this morning after they broke through his window. They didn't have a choice. He just had to get out and go. Others tell us that firefighters came up to their 3rd floor apartment and grabbed ladders that they were able to go down instead of having to jump through their balcony. But again, having to break screen doors to get through, to get out. We also spoke to a man who lives on the other side of the apartment building. Fortunately, his apartment is not burned, although for hours he worried if his dogs, which were inside, were okay.
My main concern was I have my other little 4-legged baby in there, and so I didn't know what type of condition or if she was in harm. So I was just making sure that she was okay if she got out. I knew that my sons were already with their grandmother, so it wasn't like that much of a heartthrob unless my kids were here. But I've had my dog ever since she was just a little puppy, so I just wanted to make sure she was safe.
That dog that he's had since she was a little puppy, we saw just a few moments ago him walking out of his apartment with her in tow. So that dog is okay. And a lot of people here on either side of the building making sure that their neighbors are okay, making sure that their animals are okay. Now, a lot of people are just sitting around this area while firefighters continue to monitor this building. You can see right up there as he just bent down, there's still firefighters on the top floor. Again, people were jumping from 3rd floor balconies to escape this fire as crews were arriving on scene. Immediately, the first thing they did is put up those ladders and get people out as quickly as they could. Obviously, that's the first priority whenever they arrive on scene like this, is to make sure everybody's safe. They did a heck of a job out here today, guys. 2 people transported to the hospital for injuries, but seemingly nothing critical from what we've been told. Again, 1 person has been detained. They have not been arrested, but they have been detained in regard to this fire. We asked fire officials earlier if this was arson, if they thought that this was intentional. They didn't know at that point in time, but that's at least a clue of where this investigation is currently going. That neighbor you also just heard, he told us that he believes it was intentional. He heard some commotion earlier the night, a fight, and he believes that escalated. Of course, again, 1 person has been detained, nobody has been arrested. Firefighters, again, you can see going up that ladder, continuing to work on this building and ensure that that fire is completely out. Guys, something we'll continue to monitor all throughout the day.